what happened was when once the admits started rolling out, uh, we somehow there's always someone who will create a Facebook group, a WhatsApp group, and then you get to connect with them. Sooner or later, you will eventually find out and connect with all the people, mostly from India, and that group helped searching for roommates. Housing was mostly restricted to the Facebook groups which we had. So there's plenty of housing specific groups or groups specifically created by Carnegie Mellon University administration just for this effort. So there are people who or students actually like us who would be subleasing their again, just to give a perspective, subleasing is basically in over here we have lease. That's a 1 year contract most of the times. So there are people who go for internships, and they would probably pass on the lease to people who are coming in around in May, because in May it's difficult to get a lease upfront. So many people see sublease, go through sublease for 3 months, do away the first semester, and then take another lease. So that gives you an idea of where to stay. There are two famous neighborhoods which the students in CMU prefer. One is Squirrel Hill, and the other one is Shady Side. Squirrel Hill is more of a student community. Shady Side is more on the posher side, but there are students living over there. Mostly the PhDs are the ones who are probably going to stay in Pittsburgh for a long time. The second one is the lease agreement negotiation. So from personal experience, it was the first one was a sublease where I just reached out to the student who was staying in that apartment, and that's how we got the sublease signed. For the second one, it was more of a search online through Google and whatever contacts we have got from our seniors. So it's not much of a big deal. You will once you go there. I think the first one sitting from India is a bit tougher one because you don't know the neighborhood. So sublease works the best. But still, I won't say it's much of a concern or much of a problem for anyone going to CMU, at least to find a house over there. Dealing with roommates with respect to shared expenses, so completely depends on the rapport which you have with your roommates and what all rules or whatever you have come to an agreement with. So my experience was good. It was my first experience out of home, so I never had roommates to deal with, but fortunately was a good experience for me at least. So comment on expenses, rent, food. So specifically for information systems management, what I would suggest is if you get an I-20 of, I'm just making up a number, don't quote me of for the number as such. So let's say if your I-20 for 1 year track is say somewhere around $98,000, you will probably spend, even if you live a very lavish life over there, you will probably spend somewhere around $88,000-$90,000. It's typically for rent, food, and utility. Anything between $650 to $1,000 would be the range which you should consider for every month. Not more than that, unless you are like really crazily spending more money on your rent. So $650 to $1,000 would be a good conservative number just to keep your budget on the higher end, so that you have enough buffer towards the end. Books, I never personally bought a book. The slides, the materials provided by the professors are quite exhaustive and sufficient enough to even go through the entire course and do well. Obviously, like you will have your laptop, so a lot of e-books or on like digital copies of contents is something which we had. So can be video tutorials, can be just a blog online where you refer to. So I don't think any one of us spent heavily on books, so that wouldn't be much of a expense or probably a negligible expense. Transport is taken care by CMU, so the buses in Pittsburgh are quite well connected. If you're staying in Shadyside or Squirrel Hill, there will be buses every 4 to 5 minutes. Won't be an issue, and then you end up paying $90 every semester to CMU so that you can avail these buses for free with your CMU ID.